Taking on a crazy, cinematic experience compared to Stranger Things was big time. I mean, it's a high standard to go up against, and I feel like I was really excited. I think it's overwhelming and it can be quite scary and daunting, but soon as I went on set, it felt like the first day of school, and immediately I learned everyone's names, and it was good. My character, Madison, is a skilled and intelligent teenager who aspires to be her mother one day. She's relatable in some levels, and I think, her vulnerability level is kind of something I can relate to. They are just some of my favorite actors. Kyle, I have obviously watched for a really long time, and Vera, I have watched all her movies. So I was honestly quite starstruck when I met them. And it was quite easy to play an on-screen family when you have amazing people. And, playing the mother-daughter with Vera was, very easy. I can tell you that there is a big battle, and there are, incredible titans that you actually haven't seen all in one movie together before, so I was really excited about that. Mothra is my favorite because she's so graceful and beautiful and has so many colors to her. I think that women in this movie are one of our biggest and most powerful storylines, because there are a lot of men in the movie and they play amazing characters, but our women like Z, oh my goodness, Vera, oh, what was Sally, just great like base characters that are so strong and powerful, and leading women that really are inspirational. And I think it's so important for young women to look at this movie and realize that, what, this is a big blockbuster movie, and look at these women, they're amazing in it.
Well, I went back to watch the first film, you know, and I hadn't remembered, I'd never paid it to that close attention as a kid and what it was all about, and the history behind it and what it really meant. And then I watched the second film, and you watch the second film and you realize that that you're watching filmmaking, the evolution of filmmaking and of these characters. And you watch the third film and you realize that they went from a simple basic story. Now in the third film you've got a full set of characters, you've got comedy relief, you've got so those first three films, I really loved them. And I'm really happy that this film stuck pretty close to the original ideas and everything. And I think it's a really great homage to what it was in the beginning. And of course, there's a message that Godzilla brings out. And as my wife said this morning, it's a thump in the head to the public and to the Earthlings to wise up, and pay attention, look what's going on. You do get some other creatures that come out that fans of Godzilla will know them. But you also get and I learned more than I ever thought I'd learn, but you get a little of the history of where these creatures come from and their genealogy, if you will. So that's very interesting as well. The most important thing going in as an actor in this film, and it's not lost on anyone, it's the heart of the story. And the heart of the story is the family. It's Vera's character, my character, and Millie's character. And all these characters are starting out, they're separated by a loss. And that's the emotional grasp of the film. And those are our foundations to launch from. And then you move into the other things. So, if you care about the characters, you care about the monsters. If there were no characters to care about, it really wouldn't mean too much. So there's a relationship there between those. So that was very important. I would call Millie a professional. She's very capable, curious, and she's just a neat person. You know, you can meet her parents and sort of get that why. You know, and Vera's very enjoyable. I've been watching her for years, and you know, it's just a privilege to have those two. And then all the other cast is, you know, we had a good time. You know, it was work. There's no doubt about it, but everyone had a pretty good time. It was a good experience.
For me, it was mainly about the opportunity, the chance to not only be in Godzilla, but, you know, big crazy summer blockbuster. And I think when there's a film that focuses on big giant monsters wrecking a whole city and global destruction and all that kind of stuff, you want to make sure that it's not just that. And one of the things that Mike Dougherty and Zach Shields, who wrote it, did so well is make sure that you've got some human narrative that you can latch onto. You've got great characters that you want to see if they make it through it or not, and follow what happens emotionally with them.
Yeah, I loved. I auditioned with the scene from another movie, and then they got the idea, and then I got to meet with Mike, and I wanted to be a part of it just from the jump. When you hear Godzilla, you know that there's not a lot of things that have over 30 movies around them, and it's something that stood the test of time. And I know with this go around, the legendary or American Godzilla, you know, it's important that these films show respect to the original content, and somebody like Mike was ready to do that. And you know, I loved being a part of this, and it was a dream come true.
That's the evolution of Godzilla as a character. I mean, he starts off back in the 50s as this sort of like unknowable destructive force that just goes back into the sea when he's done. But now he's evolved into, he's taken on more human traits, he's taken on identifiable traits. And I think in his role in this legendary franchise, Monsterverse as it were, is he's kind of like this warden of the earth. This warden of equilibrium, and when things are kind of thrown off with Mutos or whatever else, or Ghidorah, he's got to stand up and fight. He's like our own huge giant superhero.
He's everybody's dad.
Yeah, he's everybody's like really stern dad. Yeah.
As far as Godzilla monsters go, like, he's fought all three of these monsters individually on, you know, in separate movies. So when I heard that he was going to go, you know, all three are in it, and it's the second film. You know, this is usually what they end it with, you know, but this is the second film. Yeah. And it's what we've been dying for. You know, even from the Matthew Broderick one, you know, Godzilla wasn't going up against anything. And then 2014 happened, and they gave us a little taste. This is up in your face, ready to go. Mothra, the queen of all monsters. Rodan, you know, the best phoenix I've ever seen in my life. And, you know, Ghidorah, also known as Monster Zero, also known as King Ghidorah. He is the biggest and baddest, and we're bringing it this time around.
In particular to this film, he was incredibly focused and determined. I think he had a lot on his shoulders to wrestle with, as we're talking about, like a massive fan base, a huge history with the Godzilla films, and he wanted to make sure that he wanted to tell the story he wanted to tell in the way he wanted to do it.
It's fun when you have somebody who's so passionate about the project and they're having fun while they're at work. That's so rare when you get to do that, and it usually, you know, great morale makes great movies.
I play Sam Coleman. I am a sort of a liaison from Monarch, which is the agency that monitors and in some cases controls some of these titans, these monsters. And I talk to the Senate. I'm a communications liaison to that company, that organization.
I play Chief Warrant Officer Barnes. I am the senior officer on G Team, which is a branch of military under Monarch. And I take my orders from Colonel Foster, played by Aisha Hines. And G Team is all about making sure the mission is successful no matter what it may be, and try to have the least casualties as possible, and at the same time protecting the public from these titans. I think it's hands down the best monster movie I've ever seen in my life. It's so well balanced. The subjects that we bring up in the film are real life situations. I know we're dealing with giant creatures, but we speak on a lot of humanizing things.
Yeah, I think in the end, it's a fun, wild ride. It is a movie where you're looking up, seeing a bunch of monsters beat the crap out of each other. And in the end, once the credits are rolling, if you've taken the hidden message of climate change and what is our impact on this world, if you've taken that home and given that some thought, I'd say that's a win-win.